Yeah, good evening. I'm going to be taking you on t-tests, which is the start of inferential statistics. In the previous class, I taught you about descriptive statistics, where I told you about mean, median, mode, the univariance measure, the bivariance measure, and the likes. So now we are starting the inferential statistics, which means that we are trying to pick a sample or a particular sample from an entire population, and we want to see if this can appropriately represent the entire population. So for t-text, it's mainly used for comparing mean of two groups in order to see if there is a significant difference between their mean or the average. So, I will quickly let you get one or two things about mean. So now t-test is a statistical test that helps you compare the average or mean of two groups to know if there is a difference between them. And before I continue with this, let me open my SPSS so that I will quickly show you the three types of t-tests. Is well written in the data analysis software SPSS. You could see the one sample t-test, the independent sample t-test, which is the commonly used type of the t-test, and in this case you are actually trying to compare two groups that are independent to each other. So by the time we start the class of today, you understand better. Then paired sample t-test is when you are still working on the same group, but in this case, different time. What did I mean by different time? For example, now if there's an outbreak of virus or a pandemic in 2010, and the same pandemic still happened in 20 what 25. So you are trying to compare possibly the average of the impact of the outbreak of the disease. So that's when you're talking about peer. So it's still the same group, but what? But is happening in different time or based on different condition. So let's quickly uh, go to the business of today. So I'm going to show you the two major data I'm going to use to quickly teach you on T test in this class. So let me quickly open them so that you can see them. The first one is working hour between male and female. Okay. The working hour between male and female. So what we want to really know is that how long can the male work on the average? Can male actually work remotely with higher hour compared to female? Then the second one is going to be control and drug test. Control and what? And treatment drug. Now, what is the meaning of this? A new drug has been produced, and at the end of the day, you want to know if this drug is really effective. So what you would do is that you have a controlled drug. Your controlled drug can just be water that you are giving the patients, and as you are giving them the controlled drug, or you might not even give them anything, you are measuring their what? Their blood pressure. And by the time you are administering the what? The new drug, you are also what? Measure, measuring their what? Blood pressure. So at the end of the day, you want to compare to know the what? The average of their blood pressure in order to know if the drug is what? Is really effective by looking at the p-value and the t-test value. So let's quickly start from the first one. So let me import the first one into the scene before I go and explain what we really call each parameter. Parameter like t-test, like sig, and the likes. So now I've imported that of male and female already. As you can see, this is the ID, and this to tell you that there are 10. The gender, That is the group definition. Anytime you see one, you're talking to male. Anytime you see two, you're talking to a female. Then lastly, the remote work hour per week. The remote work hour per week. So the first one is male, 32 hour, female. This is real life stuff. So now after you've done this, let's go and analyze. So you go to analyze, then you go to compare mean, and you go to independent samples t-test. Independent sample t-test. What is happening? Oh, sorry. Let me reset. Let me reset so that you can. So now the gender. So the gender is the group. So that's why they call it grouping variable. Gender in sense that's male, female. So I'll pull it to the grouping. Then the remote, I'll pull it to the what? The remotely how they work to the test. So that's what we want to use to test and compare the two groups. So after you've done that, do not forget you must define. Since you know that the first group is 1, which is male, and the second group is what? Is 2, which is female. So you click on what? Continue, and you click on OK. Okay. Now, looking at this, looking at the mean, you can see that the male has least hour, while the what? While the female has what? They can work for higher hour for remote what? Remote job, which is 41.80. But you can't really conclude with this. So you need to use t-test to know if there's a what? If there is a significant difference between their mean. Are you getting it? Because mere looking at this, you could just conclude that wow, oh, female can work on high hour. So, but this is not enough. You must look at the what? At the t test. Now, before I continue, I quickly need to let you understand what we mean by T here, what we mean by DF, and at the same time, what we mean by the SIG. So let me start from the SIG. So I'm quickly going to rush here and tell you what we mean by the SIG. Okay. Now, when you are talking about SIG, also mean P what? P value. Please take note of this. SIG also mean what? P value. And please take note, I'm not talking of the normal SIG. No, there's a SIG here. This is living test for equality. It's just to test equality of variance. So you don't need this one. Is this second one you need. As you can see, there's a separation between the living test for equality of variance and the what? T-test. So we are dealing with T-test. So is this SIG? So these two tailed, that's the one you should watch out for. Is that clear? So C also mean what? P value. Are you following? C also mean P value. I want to be sure. Oh my God. Am I oh sorry, I'm still recording. I just want to be sure, sorry. So that mainly after the class I can send you the video. So now what am I trying? Okay, yes. As I told you, sig also means what? P value. Sig also means P value. Now, after you've gotten this, the next thing you should take note of is that when your P value, which is the same as sig, P value is less equal what? 0.05, it means there is a what? There is a significant what? Difference between the what? Between the mean, which make it what? Valid. You understand? Or which make it an alternative, the alternative hypothesis. So it's not null. But if there is no significant, that means it is null hypothesis. So there's no need of really comparing it. So now Then the next one is what? If P what? If P value is greater than what? Than 0.05, it means no what? Significant what? Difference. Are you following? So please take note of this. Anytime that you see it, please don't forget the seek, two-tailed. You are talking about what? P value. You are talking about what? P value. So now let's look at this. This is 0.00. What do I call it? 0.00. So definitely when you have 0.00, it means that it's actually small. And according to the principle, which says that if it is less equals to what? 0.05. You understand? So what does it mean? It means that it's what? It's significant. So it's worth comparing. Are you getting me? And the statement is really right. That's what? Remote work hour per week for female is higher. So that means female can work a longer hour when they are what? When they are doing a remote job. Is that clear? Aha. So there's an hypothesis to really work on this. Now, after you've gotten that, the next thing is the T test. What did I call it? The T test. The T test. So let me go back and let you get one or two things about T test as well. Now, looking at this, I'm seeing minus 6.713. Minus 6.713. Let me go back. Now, let me go to the next slide so that I'll be able to explain very well. So there's another principle again. Okay. Okay. Now the principle states that if T test is what? Is negative. It means that the first word, first group is what? Is lesser than the what? Than the second what? Second group. So let's see if it's actually right. So which alternatively means that if what? If the T test is what? Is positive, it means that the what? The first group, which is the male, is what? Is higher than the what? Than the what? Than the second group, which is what? Female. The second group, female, means that the first group is in this case, in this context, male. So let's now go back and see. Okay. So what are we seeing? We are seeing a negative T test, which means our conclusion is right. So let's go and read it. I love to take my time because of it. I just learning this. So let's see. Oh, sorry. Let me even go to uh, slide view so that we can see it better. Okay, look at it. If T test is negative, which is the conditional, it means that the first group, male, is lesser. So let's see if male is actually lesser. Let's see if male is lesser. If male is lesser. Based on the mean. Wow. 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 So that means male, the mean of male is what? Is 31.40. Are you following all this? I'm sure you're actually picking one or two things from all this. So just try and what? And take your time to practicalize this. And by the time you practicalize this, you'll be able to what? To finally infer if the statement is actually right in terms of comparing it with what? With real life statistics. That is the entire population. So in this case now, it means that female, and as a guy, I understand female in remote work, they can actually take their time. They can sit on this in a place and take their time to work for hours than going out and there's no much energy like 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 male. Are you getting me? So I think what I'm going to do is that possibly in the next class I will do another test uh, on. I'm going to do another example on the test where I would explain it with another example as well. So thank you.